Hey, so I have 2 months worth of makes for you today. So let's get started. The first thing that I have is this something cozy sweater, and I've been working on it. It is 1 strand of DK weight in the Hocus Pocus colorway. That's what I'm using from Chelsea Yarns. And then I'm using like a bare undyed mohair that I'm holding with it. So I've got the back of the sweater done and it's pieced. And actually it's more like a poncho, kind of a loose fitting, so drapey, snuggly thing to wear, you know, in the winter. While I'm working from home, I thought, you know, it'd be nice to have this to throw on. So I have the back of the sweater done, and I actually added a tiny bit of rib on the bottom of the front of the sweater and the back of the sweater because I wanted to try that and see how that worked. And then I just finished the front of the sweater, and I'll be putting that together, seaming it and then putting the arms on, and I'll show it to you next time. But I'm super excited about it. It's so soft and drapey. I can't wait to see what it comes out like. So, and that's the Something Cozy pattern. And I'll link all this down below. Okay, so the next thing that I have is, I have this little hat that I made, and it was an ornament for Christmas. And I got this pattern. It's called Headbands 2021 by Jodi Brown, and it's so cute. You just use scraps of yarn that's left over, like any kind of fingering weight yarn held double. That's what I used. Or you could use a DK weight, just little scraps. And you could use these for ornaments, or you could make a garland, or you could put them on a wreath, or you could put them on top of packages, whatever you want. But they're super cute. And I'd like to make some more for the next, you know, holiday season. So they're super cute. Okay, so the next thing that I have, let me just flip my page of my notes. The next thing that I have is Halloween fingerless mitts. So, okay, last time I was working on these mitts and I was waiting for the little patches that I ordered to come in, and they have come in. So I put them on the mitts. Let me go ahead and put them on for you. They're super cute. I love these patches. So that's what they look like. And the patches I ordered from an Etsy shop. The girl's Etsy shop is, let me just cover up her address. It's called Cinderella Bones, and I'll link it down below. It's in Germany, but it came really fast, and she does really cool designs. So that's what these turned out like. Super cute. I love them. And then also she had some other patches that I got. So I'll just show them to you. And you should totally go to her Etsy shop. Those are cute for another pair of mitts maybe. And then I got these like single ones. That one and this one. Like super cool stuff. Okay, all right. So the next thing that I have is, and these are fingerless mitts that I made, and I'll link down below how to make them. I have a little tutorial video on how I make my mitts, and I'll link that down below. I did the self-striping colorway. This is the yarn, and it's from this indie dyer, and it's called Pretty Twisted Yarns. And this is the colorway if you're interested. All right, so the next thing that I have is another pair of fingerless mitts. This is a fingerless mitt kind of heavy episode, but I have some cool ones to share with you. So this one, I used this, this yarn right here, and I got it off of Etsy, and I linked it. I'm going to go ahead and link this down below the video, but it is a really cool self-striping yarn. That's what it comes out like. And I made a pair of fingerless mitts for Christmas. And they're super cute. I love how they came out. I just love how this yarn patterns like this. I mean, it's so cool. So, and then I'll link down below also, you know, the pattern that I use for these. 64 stitch cast on and a 2x2 rib. And then I made a little buttonhole for the thumbs. So they're super cute. I love how they turned out. And I really love this sock yarn. I mean, I hadn't used this before and it really works up nice. Okay, so the next thing that I have, is the headbands. Okay, so somehow I got sidetracked on these headbands and I made a headband video and I'll link that up above. And so I made like a smaller size for a child or a person with a smaller head. And then I made just a regular adult size. And you'll see these in the video if you're interested in making them, and I tell how to make them and everything like that. This one was a cast on of 80 for the smaller size, and then this one for the standard adult size is 88 cast on. And then I decided, okay, so this one fits me fine, but I have big hair, so and if you have a big head or big hair, you can add a few stitches on. And so I thought I'm going to add a couple more stitches on and see what they look like. And so I made this one with a 92 stitch cast on using a size 7 needle. And this is how it came out. Go ahead and put it on. I love it. It's like super cute. You know, and if you wanted to wear your hair like in a ponytail or a, you know, bun or whatever, you could do that and still wear the headband. So I thought it was super cute. I used a mini skein on this edge and then the yarn on this edge. And I used this holiday yarn by a homespun house. And this is what it looks like. So Holly Jolly Christmas and then matcha for the green. And I totally have enough to make another pair, like a pair of socks or a hat or whatever I want. This base from Homespun House is so nice. Like, I don't know. It says it's just a 75-25 merino, but I can't, and 25 nylon. I can't believe how soft it is. I mean, it is fabulous. So this base that she's got, since she just moved back to Germany, and not just, but I think in the last year or so she moved back. But this base is like fabulous. I can't believe it. And so I love my new headband that I made. And I used, I double stranded it. So I used 2 strands pulling from the outside and the inside of the ball. And I'll show that all to you on the video. So, and then I used a 96 cast on for this pink one, which is super cute. I love how it turned out. I'll just quickly put this one on too. It's so cute. I love it. But I have tons of hair, so I did make this bigger one just for, you know, for me. So I love how it turned out. All right, and this one I used, that was the 92 stitch cast on with a size 7 needle. I used this yarn right here, and I've used it in hats and I think several other little mini projects, and I have this much left still. And then I made that headband with it. So it's so cute. I love how it turned out. So, okay, so the next thing that I have is, let me turn my page in my notes. Oh, okay. So I've made a pair of these before with this, these really long fingerless mitts, like really slouchy long fingerless mitts. Okay, there we go. This is the 2021 Advent, and it's self-striping, and it has 24 different colors in it. I have this much left of each of the balls. So I wanted to make these giant long fingerless mitts, or actually they're more like sleeves, and I love how they turned out. They're super cozy. And I have another pair that, you know, she did like, I think 2 years ago, and they're in different colors because she had different colors. I forgot that I put thumb holes in these, but you could totally make them with thumb holes or without and just be big slouchy sleeves. I think my other pair doesn't have thumb holes in them. And I put some patches on them, like with little holiday penguins. But these ones I left without any patches. I love how they turned out. They're so cute. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my gosh. They're super cute with like a white shirt on or whatever if you're like cold and you want to snuggle up. Oh my gosh, they're so fun. Look at that. Wow. She dyes some fabulous colorways. But look at that. Wow. I just love how they turned out. Okay. So the next thing that I have, and that I just used, she's an indie dyer out of Canada, and I used her sock yarn, and I did a 64 stitch cast on 2x2 rib, my regular Fingerless Mitts pattern that I'll link down below, but I just kept knitting like a lot. So those took a little bit of time. All right, so the next thing that I have is Steampunk Slouch Hat. So this one, I love this hat. So I was on Instagram and I saw this hat that Gina was knitting, and it is so fabulous. It is a mini skein set. Oh, it's worsted. So it's a worsted mini set, and it came with 5 different colors, and it is fabulous. She has a pattern that she posted on her Instagram of how to make it. She's calling it the Steampunk Slouch Hat. And this is called His Dark Materials. This little 5 skein mini set of worsted weight yarn that she dyes, and she's an indie dyer. She does beautiful work with her dyeing. I just love it. And then I put one of the Grocery Girls little palms on the top, big palms on the top. All right, and so Skein Cocaine is the dyer of this His Dark Materials, and I love how it came out. It's just a super nice slouchy hat, and I love it. So, and you can fold the brim up, or you can make it slouchy and not fold the brim up. It is so cute. I love how it turned out. I linked her shop down below if you're interested. I see that she's sold out of it, but maybe, I don't know if you could message her and see if she's going to have any more in stock. But look at that. Oh my gosh, it's so nice. Okay, so the next thing that I have, let's see. Oh, okay, so I have these. These are kind of in order that I made everything. I have this sparkle. This is one of the new colorways this year for Christmas for West Yorkshire Spinners. It's their sparkle 4-ply. And this one is called, let me just look at my notes, Vintage Tinsel. And it is so sparkly and pretty. I love it. So I made a pair of just little fingerless mitts. These, I didn't put a thumb hole in these. I just wanted to make little slouchy mitts to kind of go with one of my dresses that I wear. So I love them. Look at that. And they're so sparkly. I don't know if the sparkle is showing up on camera, but I definitely have enough for either another pair of mitts, possibly a pair of socks if I use a different color for heels and toes. So I love this. And I just love the sparkle. Like it's really nice. So the next thing, let's see, what do I have next? Okay, so I was watching Butter and Bloom, and she had a tutorial, and she also has a free pattern. I believe it's a free pattern. I'll link it down below. It might be a pay-for pattern, but I know the tutorial is free on YouTube, and that's how I found the pattern. And so this is what it looks like. It's called the Rib and Gather Hat. And you use like a size 7 needle, and I used a 16-inch circular size 7 needle. And then I used this yarn that I had never used before. I ordered it, and it's called, this is what it's called, Serdar Jewel Spun. And I'll link it down below. But look at this yarn. It is so nice. And I'll definitely have enough to make 2 hats. This ball is gigantic. This colorway is called Northern Lights, number 839. And then I also got another ball of this. I'm not sure where I put it. I'll have to look for it. But in a different colorway, and it's equally as pretty. This yarn is so nice. And so this is how it's turning out. It's going to be like a ribbed beanie, the whole thing. So it's super stretchy and nice. And I just love the way it's knitting up. The colors are so pretty. There it is. I just love it. Look at that. Oh my gosh. And so she's made several of these, and you could even use, you know, whatever yarn you have on hand. But so that's the ribbon gather hat. And then I'll link it down below where the pattern is available and where the YouTube channel is located at also. So, all right. So that was a new yarn that I had never seen. Okay, so the next thing that I have is a pair of vanilla socks, and I just knit the first one. This is what it looks like, and it's so cute. I love it. It's a homespun house. And there is the yarn. It's called Lumos. And then there's a pink one that came with it. I just started on the second sock, or that I bought at the same time. It didn't come with it, I don't think. And they're both Harry Potter inspired colorways. So this is what they look like. And she, this is a homespun house. She does such a nice job with her speckle yarn. So it's really pretty. Okay, and then here's the sock. And so basically I just did like 2 rows of the pink on the top. And then I did, you know, I did 64 stitches cast on. I did a 2x2 rib, just a vanilla sock. I did an afterthought heel, and I love how they're turning out. So I'm on my second one, but I finished the first one, and so now I'm on to the second one. And the other thing that I have is one more homespun house yarn, and this is what it is. A homespun house. This one is her plump merino base. Mermaid of the Black Lake is what it's called. And that's the colorway. And then I'm also using this yarn, which is a West Yorkshire Spinners yarn for the heels and toes in Nutmeg color 630. So I love this. So I'm just on my first sock. So there's the ribbing and then the Mermaid of the Black Lake. I love it. I love how it's coming out. Okay, so that's everything. Thanks for joining me. I have the Denver Cruise projects coming up next, and I'll see you next time. Bye.